There are a lot of cabals in ministries, MDAs, a lot of cabals, people that are close to minister or to DG. They are the people that decide what happens there. They are people that manipulate whatever happens in that place. So it's either you form alliance with them, you join their team, eat whatever they are eating, or you pinch your tent on the opposite direction. You become their enemy and they will fight you tooth and nail. That's the way it works in the ministry. So if they see you as a spoiler, somebody that's coming to block their access, what they are enjoying, they will fight you with their last blood and get rid of you from that position. When you want to be their opposition, their enemy, you want to stop the wrong thing that is happening, they get rid of you. So in Nigeria, honest does not pay. Just know it and have peace. If you are in government job and you want to be very honest, be honest, just mind your business. The moment your honesty leads you to uncover something, to blow whistle on something, you are out. They get rid of you. That is why they want the status quo to remain. So in our case now, there is kind of competition, right? Between herself, Hajia Halima, and Beta Edu, the minister. They are fighting for control. Who controls the ministry? Who controls the NSIPA? The minister is the head of the ministry, the administrative head. So she wants to dominate the Halima Shehu to be the one deciding what happens at NSIPA. If they really describe Nigeria for you, you will just get more confused, as per how things operate in that country. I was listening to this interview, between Hajia, Shehu Halima, who was the former, head of Nigerian Social Investment Program Agency, NSIPA, who was suspended, or rather removed, by the government during the Beta Edu, corruption saga. So she was heading the agency, and by virtue of what she said in that interview, when she came on board, she discovered that there was quite a whole lot of, financial irregularities, in the account of the agency. So she, having heard from the bank, and having worked as a compliance officer, she felt that what is going on in this, agency, or in the account of, the agency, is not the right thing, because they are violating a whole lot of financial regulations. And in public service, there are financial regulations you must follow to avoid getting into problems, especially when anything happens and the investigation is done. They will hold you responsible for not, complying with the financial regulations. And you agree with me that there's a reason why the financial regulation is there, is to ensure transparency, accountability, and also to keep audit trail, in terms of if there's any investigation and all of that, to make sure that the finances of the agency goes directly to the right people, the people it is meant for. And I think she was heading the conditional cash transfer as well, the CCT, which is a form of proper program that they just credit, the so-called poorest of the poor with a certain amount of money, 20K, 50K, depending on which group, the person falls in. And this program has been there. It's not new. During Buhari's administration, it was run, the CCT program at that time as well. So they followed the same platform, the same trajectory to continue to roll out, funds for the program. So I think in their own system or structure, from their NSIPA account in the central bank, money goes to some selected commercial banks who have been enrolled for the programs. So because the beneficiary doesn't have account with CBN, CBN is government bank, bank for the federal and state government. So when money gets to those selected banks, those banks will now be able to distribute the funds to the beneficiaries. And they normally use what they call a conditional cash transfer register, So, and I recall those days that the World Bank was part of those that, supported in developing that register at that time. So there have been a lot of misconceptions about the program, in the sense that since the program began, even under the Buhari's administration as well, Nigerians have never seen, the list of people, those who are the beneficiaries. You only hear that billions of naira was credited to the beneficiaries. And I think during Jonathan's time, I think there was also something like that, if I could remember, when subsidy was removed under Shopee. I can't really remember if there is, but I know there's a program like that. They credit money to the poor, at that time. So as far as I know, there have never been clear-cut transparency in terms of when it comes to, conditional cash transfer. So it's quite easy, to be manipulated, as the case may be. So Halima Shehu, was raising concerns that financial regulations have been abridged, and there are some unauthorized, transactions, or rather unauthorized people who are part of the signatory to the account. So she raised all these concerns. And I think there are two ways I'm going to look at it. Way number one is going to be she doing her job in terms of ensuring that the agency complies with the financial rules and regulation. That's one. Then secondly, I will look at it as a whistleblower, as the case may be. So we look into all of that, as we go further in this conversation. So guys, this is Ade Media TV, and you are welcome to my channel. So let's look into some of these things and see how it plays out. So being a new person to this channel, please kindly like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel and put on your notification bell so that when my next new video drop, you'll be among those that will be notified. For those who have been subscribing and supporting this channel, commenting, liking, and sharing these videos, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. All right, so let's get into the business of the day and look at what really transpired, why she was suspended, and all of that. So you guys know how Better Educate was took place during the big early stage of President Bola Tinubu's administration in 2023. Her scandal went wide, went viral to the point that she, as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, was removed. This lady now, Halima Shehu, was also removed. But the unfortunate thing is that the way they tag her name to this whole stuff, that 44 billion is missing under her watch and all of that. So it now put her in a position that is, very, very serious as far, someone that is corrupt, someone that stole, the monies or funds meant for, conditional transfer beneficiaries. So that's the light she's been painted. But is that really what happened? Because when I listened to her conversation with an Arise News correspondent, I begin to understand exactly what happened to her. That to me, she is a victim. That's what I can, deduce from everything she has said. Because if you listen the total conversation, because I'm not going to play all the videos in this conversation, so I'm going to pick just a little portion of it to play for you so that you will hear what she said, how far she has gone, written to the president, written to the EFCC, written to SGF, and all of those people. Until date, nobody has responded to her. People that claim to have done investigation on what happened to the funds and all of that, they have never sent a report and said this is the outcome of the investigation. She wrote to them twice. They did not respond. Wrote to president. So they just sideline her and use her as the fall guy or the fall woman, as the case may be now. So, but in this video, I'm going to bring up a lot of things, what goes on in the public sector and how the games are played, when it comes to public sector, so that we understand why she's going through what she's going through now. And I pity her because she's just a victim of circumstance, a victim of bad guys in the system. That's what she is. And it'll be difficult for her to achieve what she's doing now, except if she goes to court, and as much as the judiciary is also captured. So nobody knows how she's going to do that. Halima Shehu has been, someone that has worked in different capacities. She has worked in the banking system and headed even branches, managed a whole lot of billions of naira under her watch. And she did it creditably well. And that is how she, supported the Tinubu's campaign during that time and ended up to become the head of the NSIPA agency. So when you look at her track record, all the places she has gone, worked, and all of that, she doesn't have this kind of credibility, that she doesn't have this kind of image they are trying to portray about her. So that is what Okonjo-Iweala calls when you fight corruption, corruption fights back. That is the same thing that's happening to this lady. So guys, let's listen to what she said in this video, and I will come back and I'll break down a lot of things you guys need to understand, especially when it comes to the public sector management. All right, so let's listen to Halima Shehu, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
When I got to office, having left funds in the previous accounts, even though I wasn't in charge of all the programs, I knew very well what was happening in that agency. I discovered weak financial controls, monies being touched without accountability. So I began to do my own audit. I also called the attention of the minister who was my boss, Better Edu. I also called the attention of the permanent secretary at that point to see how such movement of funds can be accounted for, and to let the minister know that at the mandate of NSIPA, she doesn't have any right to be touching the funds the way she was touching them. How was she able to have access to the funds? Big question. She had appointed over 10 people in my agency, which was a violation of the mandate of NSIPA. I, as the CEO, was supposed to make the appointments of the program managers who were supposed to help me to deliver on the mandate which was assigned to me. And clearly, the mandate says I am the Chief Executive Officer. I am in charge of the implementations of the program, and I am to be held accountable for every kobo, every penny, and every dollar that left the agency's account. Then here are movement of funds that I didn't give approval, I didn't give authorization, I didn't consent to. So because transaction never came to me, it started from Beta Idu to the program managers that she appointed and were only reporting to her. I wake up in the office, I don't see them, despite the fact that I was willing to teach them. Because let me tell you, with due respect to her appointment, I'm not saying I'm perfect. There's no public officer that is perfect. There are administrative lapses. So I'm saying that with due respect to all of that, she was appointed into the ministry and she wasn't willing to learn how the programs are to be implemented. And every other person she appointed was new to the ministry and they were not willing to take any trainings. So she just wanted to be in charge and in control. So she was playing her role as a minister, my role as a CEO, the role of the permanent secretary, violating every laid down financial structure of the agency. So at that point in time, when she will never call me for a meeting, and any letter I wrote to her office, she never responded. And she asked all the program managers never to be reporting to me except her. There is the conditional cash transfer office. I heard at that point in time, there was a drawdown of over $300 million out of the $800 million World Bank supported fund. All efforts to reach the program managers to sit with me to know how disbursement of the funds will be carried out failed. At that time, I had to reach to the World Bank country director and the team, and I had to let them know that that office is under my purview. On no account should they directly work with the minister because I cannot account for her excesses.
Please
so
go
when
ahead.
I reported to the EFCC, when the matters were above me, the financial control violations were above me, I called on the EFCC chairman while I was in office. I think you're mixing two things.
Okay.
While I was in office, I called on the EFCC chairman on 21st of December 2023, before my suspension. And I handed over a letter to him, stating out all this violation of financial regulations in the agency. Monies moving out of the CBN account to the destination where they were moving. There were no hearsays. I documented. And I handed over to him. And the letter was addressed to His Excellency, the President. And at that point, he told me that he would escalate appropriately. Then again, I called on the ICPC chairman before my suspension to let them know all the ongoings of the agency, including additional unauthorized signatories that were added to the NSIPA's account without my approval. And all of this, I thought would be escalated. But to my utter shock, no one of them got back to me, and I was suspended just 10 weeks after I had escalated to them. Up until this moment, I haven't heard anything about the whistleblowing that I did. I thought I was supposed to be honored for the proactive measures I took. I thought I was supposed to be protected, but my suspension came on what? Transfer of 44 billion into private account, which until this moment, I'll tell you, there are false allegations against Halima Shehu. I never transferred 44 billion to any personal account. And the EFCC never recovered a penny from my personal account or from my family's or from any of my friends' personal account. These are transactions from CBN Copper account to where? To personal accounts. So it should be put out there in the media. This is all I'm asking. If this is what you said I did, I am someone who was mandated to empower through cash transfers. Right now, cash transfers are going on at the Conditional Cash Transfer Office. Exactly the allegations I was alleged to have transferred to beneficiaries. It is exactly the way these programs are carried out. I didn't design the implementation of the programs. We inherited them from the former vice president's office. They started the programs, and it is exactly what I knew in the programs that were going on, the knowledge I had from the ministry, and I came back. When I came on board, I didn't see any new design of implementations of the program from this administration. No one said the implementations of the programs have changed. So the way the programs are supposed to be implemented is by transferring the funds of the programs to commercial banks, payment service providers, regulated and licensed by central bank or microfinance bank. Then you disburse to them. And these are the beneficiaries benefit from 20,000 naira, from 50,000 naira. Based on my threshold, 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira of a 144,000 beneficiaries times 50,000. You will see the exact equal amount going into a particular bank. And this is exactly what transpired. I was meant to flag off the empowerment program on the day my suspension came. The monies had gone into the accounts of the payment service providers, which are existing contractors of the ministry. Their contracts had not expired. I did not contract any one of them. Better brought on board some of the bankers and then those that are existing. And it is exactly just wanting to do the right things because the monies were leaving the account and the beneficiaries were not going to benefit. And then before I knew it, I was just suspended. No one called me for an for an explanation to all of this.
Okay, so two things. No money. You never transferred any money to any private account. There was no transfer of money.
I never did, and I stand by that. Never. And no penny was recovered from me. All the circulations, all the news out there are all rumors.
Since EFCC never called you in, would you want a scenario where you present yourself to EFCC to be able to help the investigation and state your own side of the story? Because there are so many facts you have that it will be good for the investigators to also have. Would you want to do that? To help our country?
The EFCC has investigated me.
Okay.
The EFCC has investigated me. I helped them to do their job while I was in office. I did a whistleblowing. I gave them documents and I gave them facts. In all of this matter, what I'm trying to let Nigerians understand that there are facts, and facts don't lie.
What facts? Can I ask you? Can I ask you? What facts have you given to the EFCC? What documents have you given to them to aid this case? Because we've not seen anything as regards. What documents have you given to them?
Well, everything to exonerate me from the false allegations, which are transfers, and everything to show them that there were violation of laid down financial structure from the Office of the Accountant General to the ministry. Do you understand? To the payment of the 3 billion naira leftover of COVID-19 funds to 11 accounts, all without my authorization, consent, or approval. How come all the reports I gave to EFCC didn't matter? How come I made I was the first to register the complaints, but I got a reprisal instead of an honor? How come they took my minister's reports and they acted on it and they didn't act on it?
So let me just clarify this now. What you are saying is that you have given EFCC every fact possible to prosecute the matter, and it is the EFCC that have chosen not to go ahead with it. Okay, good. Secondly,
since I was in office, both EFCC and ICPC.
Is it true that you've written a letter directly to the president to ask for his intervention? And has there been any response?
Yes, I did.
Have you received any response from the presidency?
Yes, I did, because ever since this issue started, A year after, when I didn't hear from the EFCC, I wrote a letter to the EFCC, and there was no response whatsoever, asking them about the investigation report on this matter. There is not any response. Then a year after again, this year, I wrote again to say, where are we? You still haven't responded on my first letter. You investigated me without any report.
All right.
And then again, I wrote to the SGF saying, I wrote a letter. Can you please follow up with the EFCC because I was appointed by your office?
Okay.
Then again, I wrote to the sitting humanitarian minister. And I wrote to the president even before the open letter because no one seems to respond to me. My integrity is my asset. It's
Absolutely.
the legacy I carry all around. I have a verifiable track record of managing 300 million World Bank funds. I've never taken a penny of anyone.
All
I have
right.
worked for 10 years in the bank.
Okay, ma'am.
I have managed a branch with billions of naira.
Okay, ma'am.
And, this has touched on my integrity.
All right.
That's why I'm pleading with the president to intervene,
All
to
right.
let them clear my name.
Okay.
I'm not saying I am perfect. There may be administrative lapses, but I am not corrupt, and I did not take the funds of the poor and vulnerables for myself
All
or
right,
for
Hajia
anyone,
Halima.
and they did not find anything to me.
All right, welcome back. So you heard what she said, concerning how the whole process began. She observed that monies are moving to different destinations from the account, and even some of the people who authorize this money to move are not supposed to. They are not signatories to the account. Known signatory to the account, as the case may be. So, but be it as it may, money will still be moving from different destinations. So she doesn't want to get involved in this kind of stuff, looking at her pedigree, looking at her credibility, looking at the kind of jobs she has done before. She's a compliance person. And once you're a compliance person, you always want things to go in the right order, because that's how we were trained, basically. All right. So most of us who have been in this compliance, we understand what she did. Many people in public service, they don't care about the mandate of the organization. What they care about is the funds allocated to that organization. How will they get their fair share? That is just the mindset of many people in government. And that is the reason why most of the monies released to ministry, department, and agencies of government does not trickle down to the project it's supposed to go to. Bulk of the money are trapped. And then, you know what happens to them? So she came in. I think she didn't take her time to understand the federal structure, how things work at the federal level. So being her kind of person of credibility, person that have managed a lot of resources in the past in different organizations, headed different positions, work as a compliance officer, first thing she did was to check, is things going according to the rules? That was her first assignment she did. And that was how she uncovered that, no, things are not following the financial regulations. All right. And then she now want to fix it, because as a compliance person, when you see things that are not going in the right direction, you stop it and mitigate it, and rewind it back to flow into the right channel. You don't continue that process. You terminate that process and redirect that process to the right position. That's what compliance does. A lot of mitigations. In her level, what she did was she escalated it, right, so that the people in question should be able to address the issues. And according to what she said, she alerted the minister that a lot of things are not going as planned, and probably nobody did anything. And remember, what she's saying is actually what the situation was. Why do I say so? Remember, when the Better Edu issue came up, they said she awarded contracts to different people, especially the Minister of Interior then was flagged as part of the person. So conflict of interest and a lot of things was mentioned at that time, which means it aligned to what she's saying, that monies were moving to different locations. And being the minister, there are some things she's not authorized to do. She has her own portfolio, while the woman headed Halima Shehu also had her portfolio, and everybody should focus on their portfolio. But there are a lot of cabals in ministries, MDAs, a lot of cabals, people that are close to minister or to DG. They are the people that decide what happens there. There are people that manipulate whatever happens in that place. So it's either you form alliance with them, you join their team, eat whatever they are eating, or you pinch your tent on the opposite direction. You become their enemy, and they will fight you tooth and nail. That's the way it works in the ministry. So if they see you as a spoiler, somebody that is coming to block their access, what they are enjoying, they will fight you with their last blood and get rid of you from that position. We have seen this whole thing happen. It happened to Magu. It was allegation just came from nowhere. He was suspended to the point that they convinced Buhari. The same Magu Buhari swore that he must be the chairman. No, even if Senate did not confirm him, they succeeded. What is his name? The Attorney General then, Abubakar Malami, succeeded in convincing Buhari to remove Magu. For suspension, he was gone. Same thing happened to Obna Oblo when he wanted to, pursue the funds in Texas. They told him Nigeria has about $60 billion in Texas, or stolen oil, crude money. They stolen crude money. He wanted to pursue it. Attorney General was against him. He blocked it, went and did what? Pressure Buhari to suspend him and remove him. They just cook up certificate forgery upon him, got rid of him. This is what happens in government. When you want to be their opposition, their enemy, you want to stop the wrong thing that is happening, they get rid of you. So in Nigeria, honest does not pay. Just know it and have peace. If you are in government job and you want to be very honest, be honest, just mind your business. The moment your honesty leads you to uncover something, to blow whistle on something, you are out. They get rid of you. That is why they want the status quo to remain. That is the reason. So you can imagine 44 billion. They now said that she was the one responsible to divert 44 billion and whatever. So you can imagine, how can she have 44 billion? So in her case now, there is kind of competition, right? Between herself, Hajia Halima, and Betta Edu, the minister. They are fighting for control. Who controls the ministry? Who controls the NSIPA? The minister is the head of the ministry, the administrative head. So she wants to dominate the Halima Shehu to be the one deciding what happens at NSIPA, which, basically she doesn't have outright, mandate to do that, basically. Because if she is going to do that, there's no point appointing Hajia Halima, as the case may be. So she have a mandate. Minister should be on her lane. Since she need to report to minister, she reports to minister. Since as her capacity cannot approve, that the minister must approve, she sent to the minister to approve. That's how civil service work. That her capacity for permanent secretary, there's how much permanent secretary can approve. That how much he cannot, he has to send to minister. That's how much minister can approve. When it's beyond that, minister will send it to the executive council. So all these regulations are there, and there's a reason why they are there, to protect the institution and their finances. So she and the minister are fighting for control. Where two women are dragging control, you know how bad and dangerous it will be. So the minister wants to be in charge. She wants to be in charge of her own position. And she wants things to work in the right way. But the minister probably may have felt that if she succeeds, they're going to block them access from doing a lot of things that they have been doing, basically. So based on that, and what the minister is also doing, she's not doing it alone. There are people with her, both in the presidency and all of those places. There are people working with her. There are people that are benefiting on the way the minister is pushing money, different locations. There are people benefiting from it. There are people chopping from it. So, and being a minister, you don't know how she came on board as the minister, because we have seen the fake agency something, the fake DG something, people claiming to have paid money somewhere, and then before they were appointed in that position, and all of those allegations have been there. Not even under Tinubu's administration alone, it's been there during Jonathan's administration, it's been there during Buhari's administration, and all of that. So you can think about all of these things. So most of the things you hear is not just news. Most of them are happening. So there's power for control. They are fighting who controls what, which is unnecessary, highly unnecessary. Every job has their job description. You just focus on your job description, and then you move on. Then again, she felt that EFCC is doing their job, working, for everybody. He felt that all those people in government, at the moment she blow the whistle and send it to EFCC, then they will come and investigate and see what she's saying, and they will help to block it and pick those people that are responsible for doing all of that, and the agency can now work in the right order, and things will, deliver the right result. That's our mentality. That's how credible people think. That's how people that, protect their integrity, that's how they work. They don't want to be involved in anything shady. But she never knew the kind of organization she's in. She never knew the way the government works. As a government person in your job, you become whistleblower. Forget it. Forget it. They will deal with you. They will deal with you seriously. That's very simple thing. Just oppose your director alone. Oppose your director, what he does. He will just inform the permanent secretary. They'll move you to another department where you will suffer. You will be counting files. That's what they will do to you. They'll forget you in the file dump. You have the capacity, you have the intellect and everything. They don't care. Their mission is, this guy is beginning to show that he knows too much. They will get rid of you. That's exactly what happened to her. She came in as a professional. The ministers, most of them are not professional. They're just politicians who help the president to win an election or contributed in one way or the other during the election. And the president is rewarding them, assigning them different portfolios as ministers, and DGs and what have you, or member of board. But when a professional, somebody who is trained for that job comes in, there are two different perspectives. He cares about rules. He cares about principles. He cares about processes. But those politicians, all they care is how will the money come out. They will tell you, just know what to do and get the money out. That's all. They don't care you breach process or not. But they will make sure that whatever happens does not implicate them. So they will create a room for fall guy. So that when anything comes up, they put that fall guy and use the fall guy as the victim. So that they will be exonerated. That's what is going on in this case. So the same whistleblower became the victim, became the fall woman now. Nobody cares about her. You can see that. She wrote to EFCC and tell them, this is what I've uncovered in this agency. This is what is going on here. And the EFCC is the people responsible for financial crime. And she did her job by even escalating to them, right? And obviously, before she moved to EFCC, she must have had conversation with the minister. This is what is going on here. But because minister is part of the game, obviously. So she didn't take heed to what she's saying. And then she escalated to EFCC, thinking that she's doing the right thing. Is it the right thing? Yes. But what's the outcome? The outcome shows that she made the greatest mistake of her life. So what would she have done as per the way the ministry function, the government agencies function? Close your mouth, allow what is happening to continue to happen, key in, join them in their team, collect the one that you can collect for yourself, do your tenure, leave the place. That's how it works. So the moment you come in and want to be a whistleblower, trying to stop what is wrong in the ministry, they will mark you down and they will destroy you. They will destroy you. Those people benefiting, they will destroy you. Because that money you are seeing moving, it's not just moving to local people somewhere. No, people at the top are the trapping points. Those monies are trapped by some people at the top. So is it those people you want the EFCC to expose? Is it those people you want the SGF to expose? It may be people who have contributed a lot of money during campaign. There may be people who are so powerful in the villa, that they can do and don't do. Are they the people you want them to expose? No. Instead of exposing them, they will get rid of you who is blowing the whistle. So that's how it works in government. They always have 4 persons they will use as scapegoat at the end of the day. And unfortunately, Hajia Halima is the scapegoat. And they're not going to clear her name. She only goes to court. If she goes to court, if she's lucky, the judges in the court feel pity for her. They will, treat the case as it's supposed to be treated and hand her judgment that from the report, because that's when they will compel EFCC to provide a report of the investigation. They subpoena them to provide the report. So no matter what they may cook to hang her neck, she may be lucky. They may set her off the hook because she too have her documents. She says she documented everything she have, so she will present it in court. So if there's need, they can set up independent agencies if they feel that EFCC is not neutral in the whole process. So it's a big game, and it's a game that involves big players. That is the whole truth. EFCC did not respond to her. SGF did not respond to her. She wrote again to EFCC after 1 year. No report, no information, nothing. She wrote to Presidency, nothing. When you write to Presidency, the chief of staff determine whether your letter will get to the president or not. They can trap it, shred it. President will even know you wrote. You don't understand how this. These people are a clique. That's why they call them cabal. They only protect their interests, nothing more, nothing less. They don't care about you. When it's time, they throw you under the bus. So that's the way it works. So an average Nigerian, public servant, assuming she has been in the public sector for quite a long time, apart from those, little positions she served in the state level, as somebody who has been in government public sector, go and ask them. There's 2 things you will do. Either you shut your mouth and join them, since you are also at the top level, you join in the clique, collect the share that gets to you, and you enjoy your life in peace, serve your tenure, and go. And that is exactly what 90% of them does at that position. Then the second leg will be to blow the whistle like she did and then face the consequences. And the consequences is that you will lose that position. They will hang something on your neck and use you as the victim or the scapegoat to clear themselves. So that's why many people don't go this direction, because it's more dangerous for them and it does not benefit them in any way. So that's why many people shut them out, key in, collect their own billions, serve for the remaining 4 years they have, or they may even resign along the line. If they feel that they may be trapped or the heat will get to them, they will resign ahead of time. cite health reasons, and they disappear, carry whatever they have collected. So I see her intentions, I see her, credibility, I see her passion to see that things are done right. But doing things right is not for Nigerian public sector. It's not. Especially you are not the Oga Patakpata that takes the final decision. It's not for Nigeria. That's the honest truth. That's why a lot of things are not going right. That's why a lot of things are going in a crooked, ways. And it's unfortunate. It's highly unfortunate. That's why you can see fake agency, fake DG getting budget, having office in federal secretariat, hosting meetings, diplomats meetings, traveling abroad with government officials, and all of that. Having account in CBN, 34 bank accounts in CBN, fake agency, fake DG. So that's what it is. So I pity the lady because she's going through a lot of pain. You know what it means? Somebody that work in different diverse organizations. Suddenly, once they Google your name, your face will come out as with a tag 44 billion stolen, missing under your watch and all of that. It affects her credibility, even globally now. Anywhere she go to open an account, they put her name in search to find out who she is. When they see that now, there are many businesses she can't do. There are many banks that may not even, open an account for her, stuff like that, because of the negative news. So it's quite sad, when you see people. And I think she and the EFCC chairman, I think they were cleared the same time or appointed almost the same time by the president when they passed the Senate screening. So I don't know why the EFCC chairman did not provide a report of the investigation since 2023 till now. Almost 3 years. Almost 3 years. What kind of investigation are they still doing? And they're not communicating with the woman to give her update on what is going on. Are they supposed to give her update? I don't know, but being people in government who have worked together, there is still that good way, to at least carry her along somehow. And she has made a request twice, no response. Is it fair? No, it's not. So all she wants is for them to clear her name. That is not part of whatever it is. And according to her, they have tracked her account, including her family members and all this. Nothing was found on them. So why are they still keeping her and labeling her as somebody that moved 44 billion of poverty people's money? And so I don't know, but I think the EFCC, they need to do better, to be able to set the record straight. That's the way it is. So if you remember Okonjo-Iweala, telling us that when you fight corruption, corruption fights back. That is the situation. So somebody wants to do things right, want to encourage people to do things by the rules. Now she's thrown under the bus for doing that because some top people must have been implicated in the whole process. Who are those people that have access to the account to approve those funds that she said are not supposed to be part of the signatories of the account? How did they get into that system? How were they authorized at their name as signatories to be approving and moving money? So for you to know that it's beyond the ministry, there are other people somewhere in other top offices. Anything money involves Accountant General, involves Central Bank of Nigeria, right? So deeper investigation will uncover a lot of things. And that's why 2023 to 2026, the report was not made public. Nobody knows the outcome. And people have been asking, better edu, where no prosecution, no nothing, till today, 3 years after she was suspended and removed. No, nothing. She's not in court. She's not being prosecuted. Nothing. Nobody's hearing anything for the past 3 years. And that's how it will die. So this woman is fighting for her name because she worked so hard to build it. And I think she deserves her name to be cleared. If they felt she stole the money, provide evidence, take her to court. For the past 3 years, since 2023, nobody has taken her to court. Nobody has brought any report to prove that she did what they say she did or not. And she too is now asking, bring the report so that we know the next step. Nobody. So that tells you a lot of things, that probably her hands were clean. She can't be stealing the money and be the whistleblower at the same time. Who does that? Nobody does that. So I pity her. She's the scapegoat. She's the victim in all of this. Where is Bete Edu today? Nobody knows. It is what it is. But it's quite sad, seeing her going through all of this. I know what it takes to build a credible career. It's not easy. There are a lot of things you will say no to. Things that will benefit you, you still say no to it. Just because you want to build a credible career. And Peter Obi said it in his interview a few days ago with Channels News, Channels TV, that people of honesty are not recognized in the country. It's only those doing the wrong things that are recognized. I think the Hajia Halima Shehu, I think she's just going through what they call conspiracy. Yeah. So I think they just conspired that she will be the forewoman. It is what it is, and I'm sorry for her that it turned out that way. So I know she must have beat up herself. Why did she even report these people? Since they know, if she knows it's gonna turn out this way, I don't think she would have made the same decision. But I believe her that being a compliance officer and having managed a lot of resources in the past without any issues, I believe her that she will still beat her chest and say, yes, I did the right thing, no matter what I'm going through. But I know God will vindicate her at the end of the day. Even if this administration didn't do that, another administration will do so. We have seen such situation happen. So if you think what she did was wrong, please comment at the comment section and let us know why you think so. If you think she would have just kept quiet, joined them, collect her portion, and all of that, tell us in the comment section and why you think so. And do you think EFCC is fair to her or the government in general? Because EFCC, SGF, the presidency, all the people she has written to, none of them responded to her. Do you think they are doing, what is right in not responding to her? She has not been taken to court. The matter has not gone to anywhere till today, 3 years after. So what do you think about all of that? Put it in the comment section. I will continue to talk about that. So I'll be leaving the stage now. But before I leave, guys, if you are new to this channel, please kindly like and share this video. And also subscribe to my channel and put on the notification bell so that when my next new video drops, will be among those that will be notified. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in my next video. Do have a wonderful day. I'm signing out. See you.